Good morning, people. Today is Thursday, August 29th. Only a couple more days left in this month. It's the 29th. It's about 6 a.m. here in southwestern Nevada, George Norrie, Art Bell Country, Nye County, Pahrump, or Pahrump-Tucky, you choose. My name is Edward Bevilacqua. This is Department of Career Services, where our goal is to help you on your journey through this life. What does that mean? Well, this life is a journey, not a destination. It's like anything else. This is a journey to someplace else. Good morning, Mr. Bo Jangles. Good morning, What a Bevy. Is it What a Bevy or What a Bevy? You choose. Okay, let's see if the third member of the triumvirate arrives. Okay, so this is our purpose for being here. Our why is to help people on their journey through this life. The question number one is, do you believe this is a journey, or is it all that there is? Is this it? Yep, he's here. The fecal marshal is back. So Matt, Matticus von Atticus, Untersergeant Extraordinaire. Last night when I was at Trinity, Pastor Tony made a point of saying how he appreciated that every time he talks to you on the phone, you tell him how happy you were that he invited you to the church. Then he proceeds to say, I hope he's not going to the Mormon stuff, and I don't know why he hasn't reached out to the church as I suggested. And that is an example of, I think, the problem of Christianity's going down. People will say, well, we all hear what we want to hear, right? So people will say, yes, Matt is very appreciative. He always tells me how he appreciates I was coming here. And then there's the but. But people are not becoming Christians. So what's the point, right? Is it the point to be nice to people? Is the point to be nice to pastors, show them reverence, make them feel good, but not become a Christian? Or is the point to actually act like a Christian? That is the question. I have an answer. That's what we're working on Monday nights. That's what we're working on. Is it enough for somebody to dip their toe or not? I was told my aunt in California High that I was going to church. She was happy until I told her it was LDS. See? Point number two. It's not enough to be a Christian. You have to be a certain flavor of Christian. And my hunch is whatever flavor you had that was not exactly her flavor would not really count, especially if you said Catholic. What's wrong with LDS? Well, from a Christian point of view, they're not really Christians. Jesus is the brother of Lucifer, not God. So for Christians in the Nicene Creed, God and Jesus and the Holy Spirit are one in the same. They're all the triune God, the Trinity. So to say, I'm a Christian, but I don't believe Jesus is God, is not really what the Christians call being a Christian. And then the question would be, how far can you stretch that? Well, Jesus was like Buddha. Are you still a Christian? He was a great prophet. Are you still a Christian? So, what a bevy. At the bus stop last night, Two drunk older black guys kept calling me Mormon, LOL. Krishna is Christ. Right. Faith alone in Christ alone, at least that's what the people from the church in Texas say. Right. I think everybody says salvation is by grace and grace alone. The difference is some people say faith without works is dead. You show me your faith and I'll show you my works. What's the other one about? I think it's in James about to say I will pray for you isn't really enough. You have to actually do. I think if you go back to Jesus, he didn't say pray for people who are hungry, pray for people who are thirsty, pray for people who need clothes or shelter or they're sick. I don't think he said pray for them. I think he said when you did this, when you did it. I don't think he said pray for your neighbor as I pray for you. I think he said love one another as I have loved you. Be willing to give up your life. Okay, let's see. Compassion equals empathy plus action. Okay, cool. God doesn't need our help, but all humans want to be Jesus' sidekick. Okay. I would go one step further to say God doesn't really care about what we think. God does not intervene in our life. If our life is a gift, a true gift is something you give with no expectation of return. It's not an investment. It's not a loan. It is a gift. You can do with it whatever you want. Here's a new bicycle. You can do with it whatever you want. It would be nice if you appreciated the gift, if you honored the gift by taking care of it like a bicycle. But if you want to give it away, you want to leave it outside, you want it to get stolen, it's your bike. You can do with it whatever you want. It's yours to make. And if you happen to do it to do something else, to use it for a paper route, then maybe you can join me. You can be on my team. If you use the gift in a way that honors the gift, then you could be on my team, right? So it doesn't really make sense to say, here's a gift, but I have a plan on how you're supposed to use the gift. And in the background, I'm going to kind of do things to goad you and play Marco Polo with you of, okay, you have this gift, and I have a plan on what you're supposed to do with the gift. And I'm going to have a whole bunch of other people tell you what you're supposed to do with the gift, but I'm not going to tell you, and I'm really a good dad. I don't think so. It makes more sense to me to go the other way. Here is a gift of life. If you do these things, love God, love one another, and make disciples of all nations, if you do that, you can be one with the Father and I. You can be on our team. It's like the good son, right? Here, son, you can do whatever you want with your life. If you want to make me happy, here's what you need to do. And if you make me happy, then I'm going to want to have you around because it feels good. Beep bop. Okay, so that's 8 minutes in. Our theme meme of today is First Principles Day 4. Deconstruct, then reconstruct. Deconstruct, then reconstruct. Bring things down to their first principles. Darren Hardy, red letter down below. So an example he used is the snowmobile. The guy who invented the snowmobile. Well, the problem was, how do you easily traverse snow? So he got an idea of a boat, vehicles to cross over things. Got a boat, a bike, and a tank. And he combined them, attributes some of the qualities of all three things. So from the bike, he got the handlebars. From the tank, he got the tracks. From the boat, he got the skis in front and kind of the shape of it. And combined all three of them together. Combined all three together, came up with the snowmobile, because he was trying to solve a fundamental problem. So he broke it down to basic first principles. What are the basic things we need to do? Because people had been trying to, and the other thing from the boat was the motor. Yeah, the motor in the skis. So a small little motor, shape, kind of a hole shape. Instead of cutting through water, it's riding over. So skis, track from tank, handlebars, seat like a bicycle. Made it very easy to get across snow. Cool. Yes. Great. In a very fast way and in a fun way. And then they made a sport about it. And who knows, it's probably not a Winter Olympic thing because it's motorized. Okay, what else do we have down below, Johnny, in our worksheet? Advice from an 80-year-old. Don't burn bridges. You'll be surprised how many times you have to cross the same river. Okay, so that reminds me. So, Bo, no doubt you saw the German message from Jade. Correct? Is that correct? The message that Jade left in German. Yes, and you saw the translation. Is that correct? Yes. Okay. So I am going to say that this is part of bonding, quickly building camaraderie and teamwork. We can't get too serious about it. Certainly cannot have 74 text messages. And you're not going to change Maria. Don't bother. You just have to ignore her. Believe me, we have learned that. Those of us who have been around her have learned. I think Matticus von Atticus would agree. You're not going to change her. She just has to be put in her position of she is the cook. She's just the cook. If you give her more, if you put more fuel in that fire, it's going to burn hotter. And that was the first of the issues. So they called an ambulance out there last night. And they're just forgetting the point. Nobody called me. I got a message after everything was done instead of in the beginning. Carol was acting crazy, so they called an ambulance. And they completely oblivious to the thing of that's exactly the kind of thing that some people are looking for as evidence of why we shouldn't be there. Okay, the question is, before calling the ambulance, is the person a danger to themselves or others? No, she's just a nuisance. We're trying to sleep. Okay, good. Let's break it down to first principles. What do you need to sleep for? What do you need to do tomorrow? Nothing. Nothing, really. I don't really need to do anything tomorrow. You going to be up for the 6 o'clock podcast? No, I'm not. So why can't you sit up with her all night? If it's not a problem, if she's not a threat to herself or someone else, and you're going to call the ambulance and they're not going to take her away, and the county is going to get a bill for $1,000 or $1,500 for sending an ambulance out on a false call, now what? If she's not a threat to herself or someone else. So this is just trying to pass the ball to someone else. Well, we're tired of dealing with her, so let's call the ambulance. and they'll take her away. Nope, they don't do that. You don't get to call the ambulance on somebody and have them taken away. If they can answer simple questions, who are you? What year is it? Who's the president? Who's on a quarter? Simple, basic questions. If you can answer, do you want to go to the hospital? No. If you can answer those questions, they're not going to take you, but they're going to create an invoice for the county. And then who's going to get blamed? Right, exactly. Okay, TED Talk of today, David Phillips, the magical science of storytelling. What is the point there? The point is that this is back to neurotransmitters. Our feelings are the result of the release of neurotransmitters and hormones. So the idea behind this is stories are used to release, to get people to feel. Good stories get people to feel something. So for our purposes, many speakers tell a story before they talk about what they want to talk about. They're kind of priming the pump, right? Simon Sinek does it all the time with military stories. Get people feeling serotonin, oxytocin, get a little dopamine going. What's going to happen next? What Phillips calls the angel's cocktail. So, cutting to the chase, Phillips says, document your stories. Think about your stories. What neurotransmitters do those stories release? Does each story release? And then when you go into an event, think about what you want the people to feel from your talk. Do you want them to be happy, sad, lovey? What do you want them to feel? Figure out a story to get them to feel that way. So it's about bonding. Seeing the world the way we bonding. So we're bonded, right? We see the world in the same way. So Philip says, tell a story before the story, before the action. Get people loosened up. President Reagan, President Lincoln generally wanted to make people laugh, loosen them up, get down their guard so they're not haters. Okay, so we're 17 minutes in. It's 6:18. I've got to get on the Peloton. I think I will probably be out at Pratt. I'll probably leave here at 8 to go to Pratt. I have a discussion. I'm going to be leaving for Vegas today. Planning to meet with Dr. Linden. I think the key thing is at STAR is people need to be set up to be doing a schedule, a daily schedule. You guys need to get up. You need to do this, do your chores. Some people have IOP. We need to know who that is. But we need to get people up doing stuff. Jordan Peterson 101, have a schedule. Here's what we do. So maybe you want to have a chat with the guys, bring them in on it. What do we want to do for our daily schedule? We have an hour's worth of cleanup around here. When Wada Bevy was in China, I think there was an hour's worth of cleanup every morning after breakfast. Okay, so people going to Vegas, great. Super. And so maybe that's the thing. Get up, breakfast at this time. After Tai Chi, whatever that means, clean the place up, wash your clothes, mop the floors, pull weeds, empty the garbage. Well, probably don't pull weeds because Jade wants that film. But we're at 19 minutes in. Time to go, everyone. Hasta la vista, baby. Auf Wiedersehen.